Hello. Hey, we've met before, right? Probably not.
Maybe once. Wait, do you think I'm lame?
No, I don't think you do. I know what lame looks like. Okay.
I was at Downfall.
Okay, I feel like I saw you at Downfall, and I know what lame looks like. But anyway, what's up? Say me?
Riley.
Nice to meet you too. So, do you have any questions before we start?
Yeah, I've never really done this, so I'm not really sure how it works.
Sure. I mean, I haven't really done much either.
Maybe we just like play a few friendlies.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like I show a lot versus Fox.
Do you have one you prefer? We can play all the matches. We can just focus on one. We can do anything.
We can start with Fox.
Okay, sure.
Maybe eventually get to Sheik a little bit. I've been getting more comfortable against Sheik.
Okay, sure.
Definitely spaces.
So yeah, we can just play and are you cool with just stopping and me telling you what I think?
Yeah.
It seems like the easiest thing to do. If you have any specific questions, just stop me. Just my fast, right? Especially in place, because I was so far away.
Yeah. Also, that stage is like, I feel like that stage is definitely the hardest in the matchup.
Sure.
At least at my level.
Yeah, I think it's hard, but
Yeah.
talk about what actually happened though.
I don't know, I was trying to get your approaches with a lot of stomps and they didn't seem to work. You were just like kind of dashing through as opposed to like approaching me with an air.
Yeah. So that's worth noting, so that the stomp is a good way to beat Nair.
Yeah.
But it kind of doesn't really beat anything else.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something to think about, is that think about risk reward on like you're only punishing one thing, and like maybe there are other ways to beat Nair that also help you account for other things. So like I talk about some people with this, or talk about this with some people. There's this concept of confidence level, and essentially like what it is that the more confident you are that something is going to happen, the more you can choose a high reward option to beat it, even if it's risky.
Yeah.
So if you're 100% sure I'm going to nair, go ahead, stomp me for it. What if you're only kind of sure I'm going to nair? You know, let's say 20% sure. Then are you really going to want to try to use a large commit move like stomp to beat it? When, like, for example, wave dash back also beats nair, right? Like if you just stood still, wave dash back, you could wave dash back grab it, right? That also beats nair. But
Probably less committal.
much less committal, lower reward, but also, let's say Stomp. If I just empty hop instead, Stomp might also just fuck me, you know? Or Stomp is just so big that it helps cover other things. While Wave Dash back kind of doesn't cover anything else, it just keeps you safe versus the one there. So maybe it beats the option less hard, but if you're less confident, then doesn't it make sense to not commit as hard on that option? Does that make sense?
So you haven't really proven that you're like gonna approach it narrow less.
And even if I have proven it, I can always change my mind. There's also another concept that's Melee players talk about a lot. It's like, oh, well, now that you've done this, I know you're going to do this. Like, well, no, you don't. I could narrow you 20 times and then the 21st time not narrow. You know, so like that's also important. So you really need to be thinking about having multiple ways of beating things based on what types of risks you're willing to take. Does that make sense? Also, the nair to stomp idea, I'm sure you see like Wizard do it a lot, but you could be spacing it a lot better, and that makes it harder to punish also.
Like nair to like turn around stuff?
Yeah, which is, you did like once or twice, I thought. Maybe not, maybe just it stomps. But either way, like the strength of a lot of Falcon's options in that situation is strongly related to how well you space and time it. If you don't, it's very easy. But more importantly, I want you to think about risk reward in terms of confidence. Again, I'm not telling you not to do something risky if you know I'm going to nair. But I didn't show you that I was going to nair, and you didn't bait me. There was nothing making me nair. Except maybe people usually tend to nair as a reaction to certain things you do. But I reacted differently. So you need to leave yourself like an out. Does that make sense? Okay. And if you don't follow anything, don't just say, just stop me. Are we cool? Let's keep going.
Not lame at all. Hell grimy.
Because I don't play Fox anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't played Fox in so long.
realize that I like to retech the base, I try to like go for the tech chase instead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sometimes boxes will just like, I think they like react to like what I'm trying to cover, you know? Like do the opposite.
That's definitely possible. Also, you might just not be mixing it up well enough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Stay there. Whoa, crazy, dude.
good options to like get out of like aerial time. I feel like I've been resorting to wave dash on shield quite often.
Good. Nothing wrong with that. You can shoot that a lot of the times, honestly.
Yeah, like if you wait for a save.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite good. You can
Also at like high level kind of often sometimes too.
Yeah, you can also just roll.
Yeah.
Rolling's certainly not bad. Sometimes you can just moving out of, it depends on the spacing, but sometimes moving out of shield will just dodge the shines, or jumping into the shines so you get hit while airborne. So for, you know what I mean? Because then like, what am I going to get off of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's all pretty good.
So just like short hop on shield.
Or full hop, doesn't really matter. No, that was side B.
Trying to do mix-ups with jabs. Like instead of going for the full gem, I'll like go for like 1 or 2 jabs.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like the spacey will like to crouch cancel and do like down tilt.
Yeah.
But like before they down tilt, like if I just do 1 or 2 jabs and just like short hop, usually they're like
Down tilt
waiting for the down tilt.
Makes sense. I usually is actually pretty good, but a lot of it's just a lot of the stuff you're doing that you figured out is very habitual, which I think makes it easy to punish. Like, have you noticed how many times you try to like jump near me and I just up smash you or nair you or something?
Yeah.
It's because like you'll jab or like wait for a spawn dodge or something and be like, oh, like there. Like if I just did that faster, you would have gotten me.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the times I hit you are things that you just have like typical habits for because it works on like a lot of people.
Yeah, like spot dodge reads work a lot.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
then if they don't work, it's like you're getting fucked up. And it's not just spot dodge reads. It's still like a lot of jump timings. Like you kind of have like the same habits for your jump timings because of like, but you don't have like very good. Like sometimes you can just wait on the ground a little bit longer instead of jumping on the ground.
Yeah, it's kind of like some people call it like a noob timer. Like it's
like you have to do an action after it's a thing.
Yeah, like the timing at which someone will approach. It's like really predictable.
Yeah. It's not approaches for you, but it's more that there are certain ways Falcon can beat things that are really reliable versus a lot of players that are like easy for me to up tilt you for or nair you for. And I mean, I get these reads on like, you know, top Falcons too, but it's like I might get the reads on them less often, you know what I mean? Because if I get it on you that too often, then you're just going to be like dying. I like that wave dash forward you do.
What? I didn't really notice.
Oh, there's a lot of situations where you're shielding, and then instead of jumping out of shield, you wave dash forward and start dash chancing again. And I think you'll see it in the bot. I actually think it's really good to do that, but I think you're always defensive afterwards. And you can be aggressive a lot more often. My hands really hurt because I never play anymore. Yeah, I think the biggest things is that like I think everything you're doing is actually they're pretty good tactics, but just you need to not do them as often.
Yeah.
You need to have like a more flexible game plan. It's kind of like if you compare like Wizrobe to SCJ or something like SCJ does like a lot more different stuff. And what Wizrobe does works because the spacing and timing is like impeccable, but also like you'll see him play a lot of top players and it gets predictable, right?
Yeah. A lot of top players say that he has like the most predictable neutral game, right?
Yeah. So like that's kind of where I feel like you're at, where it's not that you're like super predictable, but it's like I've seen all these things before, you know, and that's why they're good because I've seen them before and they're good and they've proven to work on like a lot of people, but also like they're very beatable and like you saw like a lot of the games I like 3-stocked you were just like me beating those 3 or 4 things and then just literally killing you.
Yeah.
So like.
I had another question. I had it during that last game. I forget.
It's okay. If you think of it, tell me.
Yeah.
Are you done to play Sheik?
Yeah.
Yeah, my hands are just tired because
Probably a little easier.
I don't play much Melee anymore because I'm giving lessons. And yesterday with like Kalindi, Duck, and Beach, I probably played like 8 hours almost. So that's the most I've played in a while.
Yeah, I also kind of struggle a lot like versus like defensive style.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, it's because I think you commit with a lot of jumps, and I think that makes it hard. Unless you have like insanely good mix-ups and like your punish game's always on point. But, like that's not totally reliable. And like a lot of the times I got out of things was just like I would tech in place and then shine there and stuff. And like you really have to make the most of your mix-ups. So I just think like you like have a certain level you're playing at, and it works really well versus a lot of people. And then when it doesn't work, I didn't see that you had like a lot of other stuff. Also versus Kager, I think since you jump so much, try staying grounded more and try getting closer to them. Like you play really far away and then use lots of jumps. But what if you're like right here? They can't just camp you anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's like stay in their space, but not like
And also like be willing to run up and grab people. Run up grab is like the thing with Falcon.
It's really good.
It's like the key with Falcon that people didn't do for like all of Falcon Melee's history until like the last 2 years. You know, people should do it a lot because like how do you beat someone for just waiting? Like, you notice how I almost never, once I was playing well, you saw how I rarely got stopped because I would just either overshoot or wait for it. Well, how do you beat that besides just running up and grabbing people? Actually, if you look up Too Hot to Handle, there's a set of me and Katsu where we played, and he tries to stop me a bunch and it doesn't work, so he just gives up and starts grabbing me a ton. And it's like a really, really good example of this. So if you remember that set for later, when you watch the VOD, you can remember that because I'm talking right now. So yeah, me versus Gatsu, he run up grabs me like a million times. But then also I started counting for that, etc. But does that make sense?
Yeah. But do you think run up grab is like good against Falco too? I feel like it's not as good
much worse versus Falco than versus
Yeah.
Fox. It's good versus people who are just camping with like on the ground. It's still decent versus Falco, but very situational.
I feel like it's hard to do with the lasers. Like if there's
Yeah,
a candy player, they're gonna be like.
You can't really do it in between lasers. Man, I wish we had more time because then we could do Falco too. Well, let's play Sheik because we only have like 10 more minutes or something. So see, same thing there. What did you do? You got buried and you were just trying to jab a bunch and you're like, okay, this is the time to jump. And I literally was like, I'm just gonna run up and grab you. That's a stock. So you have to think about it like that. Think about it like that's a stock. So then you ask yourself, what was that need to beat? And I feel like it beats a lot of things, but in your head, I'm not even sure if you knew exactly what you were beating with that. Does that kind of make sense?
Like going for a knee?
Yeah, you were, or at least an aerial. Maybe not knee, but you did, it wasn't like a rising knee. You know, that's the point. And then I would just do it again, you ran into it. And that's happened twice. So that's something else maybe you can think about is like, what? So like,
be tighter on that.
Either tighter on the punish, or if you can't grab it, you need to have a plan for what to do.
Yeah.
So like, you attacking to beat double forward tilt would only beat me if I did forward tilt and I like dashed away or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I go forward tilt, dash away, then maybe you can punish it. If I go forward tilt, and that's, I don't know if your intention is to beat dash away, which I assume it's not, right? You're probably just trying to pressure me, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to, usually I try to punish like the first forward tilt. Like,
yeah, you're not, I don't think you're very close to punishing the first one. So that's why I couldn't tell if you were trying to punish the first one or if you were trying to pressure me afterwards. But maybe get better at recognizing that and thinking about whether or not you're trying to pressure and how to do it. Right? Push it down through. Right.
at low percent.
So you know I can't actually crouch under your grab if you space it close enough, by the way?
Yeah. Like at some spacings, you can't.
Yeah, you have to space closer if you want to Nice.
Oh. That beat the board tilt.
Yep. Absolutely. So that's the second time you did that grab, by the way, where I dodged it and then you tried. So like I would shield for a second and wave dash out, and you try to run up and grab me from far away.
Okay.
And I wave dash out and grabbed you both times. And again, I don't think being aggressive from that range is wrong, but just you have to be more wary of how much time I have to move. I'd say like I like everything you're doing in both matches, but I think since it almost seems like you're really confident in your game plan, but I'm not sure how aware you are of the flaws of it. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's like, it's not that grabbing there is always bad, but it's like, how long am I really going to hold shield for from that distance, right?
Wait, so was the grab I did different from the run-up grab we were talking about?
Yeah, because there's a difference between like if I'm dash dancing like in front of you, and you just like, let's say like I'm dash dance camping you, you can run up and grab that.
Yeah.
But if I'm shielding, how likely is it that I'm going to hold shield for a long time? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if I'm dash dancing or wave dashing back, that's to like camp you out to wait for your aerials so I don't get hit by them, right? But if I'm just shielding, I'm not really worried about your aerials, I'm worried about not getting grabbed. Do you get what I'm saying?
Especially because I didn't really make it look like I was going to arrow you.
Not at all. It's not like there's a... Yeah, so like you have to think about the intent also. Like when I'm doing, like I said, if I'm waiting outside your range, it's because I don't want to get hit by an aerial, so I want to like pressure you after. So that's why running up and grabbing is good. But if I'm holding shield, then run up grab doesn't really like... That's just like a hard read on me holding shield. So
Yeah.
those are kind of different. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to nair the instant of grabbing.
Oh, okay.
Because I do nair with Z.
Oh, okay.
So I try to get it like super tight, you know?
So that's just
that
you
the
didn't
same
have
thing?
time. You just didn't have time. Well, were you trying to punish the needles, or was that a mix-up in your head?
I was trying to commit to the grab before you needled it.
Well, I needled you a bunch. Like, you got hit by all the needles, right? And then you tried to grab me afterwards. Does that sound right?
Maybe.
Okay, so when you watch the VOD, you'll see. I promise that's what happened. So maybe that's something you could work on. It's also your memory. Seems like you have a lot of good ideas, but like, if you don't remember what happened, then how are you going to fix it? So what happened is I had a fully stacked needle, and then you were like standing here, and I wave dashed back and waited, and then threw them. And then once you got hit, you tried to run up and grab me, and I just dashed out of the way. I dashed out of the way. So maybe that's just misjudging how much time you have after needles. But if you remember as you were trying to grab me before, you know, like,
Yeah. Sometimes I'm not too clear on like what exactly happened.
it's really, really hard, honestly. But that's something you can train by watching VODs, I think.
I watch VODs a lot actually.
Okay.
Like, just like
Do you ever try to remember what happened in the VOD?
yeah.
So like literally watch the VOD, pause it, and ask yourself what the last interaction was, the last two
or like
interactions.
when someone like gets a grab to like a full punish, like usually I'd like rewind it like how exactly they got the grab.
Yeah, exactly. But try to, instead of just rewinding and rewatching, try to remember it first.
Yeah.
And I think that'll help train that. Because I think you're clearly a smart player and you understand a lot of stuff, but if you're having trouble remembering, then it's going to be really hard for you to fix things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I could get another run up grab.
Or at least maybe run up, wave dash in place. Because look how we were like this far apart. So maybe you can stop right around here, you know, like halfway between us. So you can take the space with like a dash up nair in place or dash up wave dash in place, and then see what I do.
Yeah.
Because the only way I'm going to punish that is if I hard read it with like a grab or something. You know? So maybe not run up grab from full stage, although Wizrobe does that sometimes, it tends to work, so I don't know. But you get what I mean.
Yeah, what I try to do is like super overshoot stomp,
Stomp?
but I feel like a lot of times it's kind of reactive.
Well, from that range, yeah. Maybe up close it's not fully reacting, but yeah, especially from that far, it's pretty easy for me to, at worst, get my shield up, you know, at worst. Maybe if we're really close, you can read a wave dash back with a stomp, then it could be good. But if I'm just sitting there, there's no way I'm going to do it. So were you trying to punish that for it?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Okay, so you started way too late. So let's actually do this. It's probably all we have time for, so this is the last thing. So Lindy, is it your turn? Okay, give me 1 minute. So I'm gonna sit here, and I'm gonna forward tilt. Oh, shit. So I'm gonna go like that, and as soon as you see it, I want you to try to run up and grab it. Okay, ready? Just stand still. Okay, ready? Okay, so you saw that that was not really feasible. So an important thing I want to talk about is setting up how you whip punch it. So the reason it could be easier while dashing, so this time, run at me, and I'm going to try to forward tilt you out of a run-up grab, okay? Okay. So instead of running up and grabbing, do a dash dance, and then react. Does that make sense? So, wait, stand still, and then as soon as I see you run at me, I'm going to forward tilt. Okay, go. So that time, you got it, right?
Yeah.
So why is that, though? It's because, so try it again. Okay, so run up grab, I'm going to forward tilt, and then try to punish the forward tilt. Ready, go. Okay, see, so you set up the reaction there, right? And the cool thing about that is you preemptively moved forward, right? Did you notice how that time you were already moving towards me even though I didn't forward tilt?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. When you are whiff punishing a lot of things, you have to already be moving towards them. And then while you're moving towards them, you confirm that I've missed it. So does it make sense that while we're standing still here, it's really hard because if you're not already moving towards me, you're not going to punish it. So maybe you need to think about it in that context. Because you've missed all the whiff punishes on forward tilt in the match, but maybe that's because you weren't thinking about what type of threat you were associating with it. Because see, with the run-up grab, it's easy because you just dash forward, dash back, dash forward. And then if I whip the forward tilt, I'm screwed. But what if I'm forward tilting to beat a nair from really far away and you stay on the ground? Like, let's say you're like that distance. If I think you're going to nair and I just forward tilt now, that doesn't mean you can just run up and grab me. Because you have to set up the threat properly with like a dash forward, or you have to make sure you're moving forward right when I whip.
Also, I think wave dash in place is like a pretty good.
Yeah, that makes it easy because again, if you wave dash in place this far, you're still not going to be able to punish it. The trick is that you wave dash in place and then you're already ready to move forward. Right? So like, if you're over here, run up and wave dash to that spot, and I'm going to forward tilt when you get close to me. So like, move far away. Now run up and wave dash in place. You see how like that could have been pretty tough?
Yeah.
So again, it's based on you have to be moving towards me, or you have to be in sync. Like you would have to be like this close. Okay. Yeah, okay, we have to go. Okay. Did you feel like that was helpful?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I like talking to you. You were pretty good, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you thought I was.
No, I like the stuff you're doing, for sure. But like I said, a lot of the stuff I think you can work on is stuff where it's stuff that works versus a lot of people, but you need to think about how to adjust it. Or things like the Sheik forward tilt. You had the right idea, but maybe you didn't understand.
Yeah, sometimes my execution is a little off.
Or like, for example, you had to understand how to set up the reaction.
Yeah.
It wasn't just you reacted slow. It was you didn't set up your spacing right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
All right, yeah.